I'm Jazz.
And we are the Thought Addictz.
Alright, so this episode we have cheated on. So we're gonna talk about cheated on, just kind of have a basic conversation about things that we've experienced as far as like being cheated on, how it made us feel, why we were cheated on, some of the reasons. And we have here on this episode, we have Ashley. Ashley, go ahead and introduce yourself.
You just did.
Ashley, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Ashley. You can follow me on IG at Coco_2305.
Yeah.
Coco_2305. Alright, and Chris?
What's going on? This is Chris, you know what I'm saying? You follow me on IG at Lil Dumb Visions.
Hey, Lil Dumb Vision. So, let's do, you tell them about your vision.
You know what I'm saying? Well, my vision is, pretty much all peace, you know what I'm saying? Just everybody got happiness, you feel me?
Alright, so that's the vibe.
That is.
Alright, so we have Chris and Ashley here. So let's go ahead and break into this conversation. So I'm pretty sure a lot of us have experienced being cheated on, especially in this day and time.
Right.
So how do y'all feel about being cheated on? Like, what's your thoughts? I mean, we all know like it's hurtful. Sometimes people ain't hurt over it. They just notice their karma coming back 360, full circle.
Right.
But I mean, like, we'll start off with Chris. How do you feel about being cheated on? Like, how does it make you feel?
I mean, I feel like it's always gonna hurt, but I feel like as long as you know that you didn't deserve to be cheated on, then you pretty much can walk away. But I feel like if you know that you did something where it's like, well, this is pretty much my fault.
Yeah.
Hey,
Karma.
right. It's just coming back for you.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Ashley?
Well, regardless if it's karma or not, I feel like, I'm gonna be hurt regardless,
Yeah,
But I mean, it is true, what goes around come around. So I mean, you dish out stuff, you gotta be able to take it in.
Okay. So, what about you, Denise?
I don't know if I've ever been cheated on. I'm sure I have. I just didn't ever find out. So, kind of in the dark on it, so I'm not really too pressed on the topic. But the more I think about cheating, because of our last episode, I'm like, I don't want to fight you.
And I mean, I feel like I'm pretty sure that I'm being cheated on, but I think it was more so emotional, not necessarily physical. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I don't know. I'll never know the truth if it was physical, but it was definitely emotional.
Right. How did you feel about the emotional dynamics? Because
I mean, it kind of made me feel like it made me for the most part, it made me feel underappreciated. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, when you doing this and doing that for somebody, you know what I'm saying, and then they doing this with somebody else, like it's like, do you really appreciate me, or like why are you here? Are you using me, or what is it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever it is, we need to get to the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, as far as like being cheated on, like
it hurts.
yeah, for the most part, yeah. And all in all, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like you never think that this person will do something like that, but then but then you have to realize like everybody can't fight temptation, and it's a lot of it out here. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that they see you in a relationship and happy, and they want to compete with your significant other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right? Yeah. They like, well, she's so happy. You know what I'm saying? Well, let me down over there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And everybody can't fight temptation. So I mean, it kind of. I mean, I guess that kind of breaks into our next question. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like, are y'all cheaters or what?
I think that's where like it makes a difference on how bad it hurts you, because
You've experienced
if you done cheated,
right?
It's not gonna hit you as hard as if you've never cheated on nobody. Now all of a sudden somebody cheating on you, it's like what? But if you done cheated before, then you like, oh, okay, well, I mean, you kind of know why.
Right. Yeah.
Like the position they in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so what was the reasoning like? What was the reasoning that you heard like as far as like why you were getting cheated on?
The reason why I was getting cheated on is because I wasn't romantic enough. So
Romantic enough.
like I never would have thought of romance being that big of a deal where
Right.
you had to step out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, do you think that like romance is like a big part of intimacy?
It is,
Like,
but
does it-
you can have intimacy but lack romance, and then you can have romance but lack intimacy at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
So if you're not pleasing that person in both ways, then it's a door opening for somebody else who can. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. What about you, Ashley?
Well, the reason I got cheated on was because that temptation, like you said, just giving in to temptation. I was dating a female that wasn't really clear on what she wanted to do as far as her sexuality, so it had nothing to do with anything that I was doing, but really just more so but something internal that she had going on.
Right,
So,
yeah.
you know, it's nothing I can really do about that one. That's a tough one right there.
Okay. So, I mean, like, was that something that you knew beforehand, or you didn't learn that until you actually got into a relationship with that person?
That was something I actually learned once I got into a relationship with the person, because she actually pursued me. So it's like, if you're gonna pursue me, then it's something that you actually signed yourself up for. So you gotta kind of roll with everything that comes with it. So that was an expectation from the jump. So for her to kind of step out and do whatever she decided to do,
Right.
Right.
kind of left me high and dry in a sense. You know?
Well, how do you feel? Because I think you touched on a really great point talking about like somebody that is battling with their sexuality and like not being faithful. Like, do you feel like women or men that are battling with their sexuality should just stay away from, you know, the same sex if they're like in that big of a questioning state?
Yes and no. I mean, I think some people can understand the fact that this is what I'm doing at this present time, and once the expectation is established, they roll with that.
Right.
And then you have some, like you said, that's just kind of too much in the battle state. So in that sense, I do feel like those type of people should kind of
Figure
figure
themselves out.
themselves out before you bring someone else into that type of situation, because it can end up kind of like how my situation.
Right, and it hurts.
Definitely, yeah. Confusion definitely hurts, and hurt people hurt people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's like, you going into any situation hurt, you know what I'm saying? You bound to hurt somebody, you know what I'm saying, throughout the process. So, I mean, like, as far as, like, you said that your situation was more so, like, you weren't being romantic enough, and your significant other was battling with their sexuality. What was, like, was that, like, y'all's, what exactly was the breaking point? Like, were they habitual cheaters, or were they just cheating one time, or was it emotional? Was it just physical? Like, what was y'all's experiences?
I'll let you take that.
Really, it was just it initially started out physical. You know, it was just a physical cheating type of thing, but then it actually turned into something different because
The situation
escalated because she got pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it started physical, then it turned emotional.
Right.
And that kind of goes back to, I mean, I guess, like, the stereotypical thing to say is that women more so cheat and it becomes emotional, you know what I'm saying? Because they're very, like, emotional beings, whereas a male, he may, you know, physically cheat and not have no type of emotional connection with the woman.
And that's exactly what I feel like I was going through. I feel like she was cheating. He was being more romantic, where and that pretty much opened the door for opportunity.
Right,
Because if it was just you were just cheating because you had the opportunity, I don't feel like she would have did it. But because of the fact he was so romantic with her at all, like,
yeah, she was just vulnerable in that hole, and he took advantage of it pretty much. Okay. All right. So what about Danica?
I haven't been cheated on, but I do understand Ashley far too well. Like when she talks about, you know, people that are struggling with their sexuality coming in and, you know, not knowing, and, you know, honestly, it's hurtful. So I do resonate with that really well, you know. So
Yeah, and I think in my situation, it was more so that, they would complain more so about, like, me not maybe being affectionate enough, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's not something that you bring into the table and I know about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you stepping out without me even, you know what I'm saying, having the opportunity to fix my mistake. So, I mean, like, and it more so was like, I feel like somebody kind of took advantage of that vulnerability, because, I mean, the person that she was, like, emotionally cheating with was a closer friend, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is the person that you've been to, and then they switch up and take advantage of all your, you know what I'm saying, vulnerabilities that, you know, I may have been lacking in the relationship.
Right.
Like, even though, I mean, they wasn't Jasmine, Rachel, Christopher, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, you know, like, you was willing to take that opportunity and, you know, like, try to see if they could be.
Right. So when I think about it, like you guys said that y'all get, you know, you've been cheated on a more emotional level. Like, how do you guys, do you see something like within yourself that you need to work on? Because oftentimes, you know, things that happen to us, like, it's easy to say, you know, it's like just that person. But really, like, in a reflective state, we have to look on ourselves too, right? Like, do y'all feel like that y'all need to make adjustments, like, going forward in your relationships?
Well, actually, I think initially, like, when you being cheated on, it's always, I think initially you blame yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you start feeling like something is wrong with you.
Right.
You want some, especially if you feel like you've been doing everything in your power to do everything right, and they never told you along the way that they feel like they had an issue with this or that or whatever, and then boom, they cheat on you.
Right.
Initially, you're going to blame yourself. You're gonna feel like you're not good enough, and then once you come out of that state, then you start to kind of really open your eyes more and understand that maybe it really wasn't me. Maybe it was something that they were grappling with. You know?
Okay.
What about you, Chris?
I mean, I feel like it was my fault.
So are you gonna be more romantic?
I am.
Okay, so ladies, Chris about to be real romantic. You about to romance y'all.
I stepped it up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Hey, we all grow from these situations,
Right,
you know,
right.
because I mean, I always look at it, you know what I'm saying, like, I want to grow from each relationship,
Right,
you know what I'm saying,
right.
until the point where I'm the best me that I can be. So, I mean, like, so if I feel like I'm doing my best, you know what I'm saying, and you decide, you know what I'm saying, I've done what I can do, you know what I'm saying? Now it's up to you to decide, you know what I'm saying? Like, is this something that I want, or is it not? And if it's not, then you have to walk away and I have to be completely fine with that. But, I mean, you don't hurt somebody in the process of y'all trying to, you know what I'm saying, make the best out of a situation that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then
I got cheated on for that. I didn't leave the person. I stayed with the person because I felt like it was my fault. Like,
Right.
If I'm lacking in the romance spot, then I need to step it up in romance. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to leave you because of that. Because
Yeah.
it's something you asked me for. I didn't do it. So now I see how serious it really is. So now I'm trying to, like, step it up.
Yeah.
So do you think that just like somebody being honest with you, like, look, like, I need you to be more romantic. You know what I mean? Like, that would have solved so many things, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
like-
at least give it the opportunity to fix it.
Right,
Just go
right.
ahead and
Yeah.
Or
find a way to
completely,
fix it.
or completely step away. Because
Yeah.
I know, like,
Yeah.
I've been in a situation where I felt like I was gonna cheat, and I was like, well, let's have an open relationship. I just opened up the relationship. I said, let's have an open relationship because I didn't want to cheat anymore, so I thought it was better to just open up the relationship. You know, that person didn't necessarily want that, but I was like, that's your options.
Yeah.
You know, we can discuss other things later on, but I feel like making a better commitment and more being more committed, but you know, just having that conversation was valuable because it lets both partners know where they stand.
Okay.
Spend my time.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel it,
Right.
And so, in your situation, I mean, like, the person, they end up getting pregnant, you know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, like, was there even a consideration for moving forward in that relationship, or was it you kind of just had to move out the way?
It was a little bit of both, but I mean, I was like so hurt in that moment. And the thing is, with that situation, it was initially, like I said, a physical thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it had to turn emotional because the dynamics of the relationship with her and the person that she was cheating on me with changed because a child being conceived.
Right.
So that just kind of changed everything. So at that point, it's like, okay, now it's not only she has to think about the emotional aspect of like she's gonna be a mother.
Yeah.
You know, even though she's emotionally invested in me, and this was just a physical thing with him, it's like where do we go from there? You know?
Right.
It's a lifestyle
So,
now.
Definitely. So yeah, so I mean at that point, you know what I'm saying, like the person that they were cheating with, you know what I'm saying, kind of has a voice, you know what I'm saying, in between y'all's relationship.
Right.
So that definitely changes things, you know what I'm saying, because I mean it's easier when it's just y'all two and y'all can talk it out, you know what I'm saying, but when you have to try to accommodate another person,
Yeah.
That's exactly
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah. So how do, I guess, when you look at being cheated on, like, how do you recover from that? You know, like, how do you recover from it?
a whole lot of time, you know, invested in yourself. The one thing about that situation, it taught me I found a new way to love myself, you know, through that type of pain that I actually went through and that I endured. And so I think just really, it's really no real answer to that question other than time. You know, you gotta allow that time to yourself. You know, don't get under nobody to get over nobody. You need that time for sure to yourself to heal, because all you're gonna do is you're gonna be damaged goods in a sense, you know, if you don't take the time to fully heal. So, yeah.
Awesome.
okay.
Chris?
Well, I mean, I guess I feel like it really boiled down to like the reasoning you put it in. Because if you put it in a spot where it's only their fault and it's something that they gotta fix, then I feel like you're gonna be blaming them. But I put it in a spot where it's something I needed to fix. So it was more, when I changed, I know this problem will happen again. So I'm not thinking about it as much, and I know that if I keep bringing it up, then how am I really fixing the issue? If I'm gonna stay with you, how am I fixing the issue?
Completely
I gotta leave it alone.
Right. Okay. So that kind of gives two different perspectives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, one, it was more so like I need to work on myself, and then the other was like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just gonna love myself past this relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's some situation you just can't even stay in. You can't be a part of. You can't. You know what I'm saying? It's too toxic for you trying to grow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just puts a stump on your growth. And so, I mean, that's how I felt in my situation. It was like, I mean, like some of the stuff, you know what I'm saying, I had to take full responsibility for it, because when you date somebody, you know what I'm saying, they always say it's going to be an 80-20, you know what I'm saying? But hey, in my eyes, I need to be the best 80 I can be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might not cover that other 20, but I'm going to be the best 80 that I can be, because I mean, I don't want my significant other to have to go out and look for this and that person and this and that person, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, once you do that, once you decide to cheat on me emotionally, 9 times out of 10 I'll be done. Because I mean, once you emotionally invested, then you have a third party that's really having a say in how you gonna respond to me. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just completely cut that person off. Like, that's opening the door for, now I know that you cheat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you telling this person, y'all telling each other, y'all love each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all spending time when you say you with somebody else, you really with this person. Like, that's a no-go for me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like gray areas, you know?
Right.
Like, just like I said in the last episode, I don't like gray areas. Like, either I'm single or I'm in a relationship, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if we decide to do what we do, you know what I'm saying, while we on a break,
Let me
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, like I said, single is single, and a relationship is gonna be a relationship. But yeah, but what I'm doing between there ain't none of your business, you know? Like, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, some people think, you know, like, how y'all feel about being on a break? You know what I'm saying? And is that considered cheating? Or
I don't do breaks.
yeah, like that, that's what I said. That's all I was saying.
Break is break up.
That means we breaking up from all terms that go into being in a relationship. A break is a break up. Okay?
It is. I've been talking on a break, and I'm like, hey, what's up?
And so, because my definition of a break is that we break it loose from all requirements and terms, but we may reconvene in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But either way it goes, we broke up.
We done.
Yeah. Period. Pooh.
I'm still trying to clap. I mean, if I clap somebody else too, it's
Yeah, hey, that's what I said. But I feel like, you know, like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what, everybody gets into these gray areas. Oh, you cheated on me, you cheated on me, and really, we was just talking, baby.
Right.
I mean, like,
You know, you can't be going toe to toe with somebody. You know, like who can do the most damage.
Right.
You know what I mean?
House player get played.
it really is. Like, cool. Like, there's some savage going on, right?
It's 20 of you. Yeah. Like, walk into my life, please.
Right, please. Cutthroat Texas, baby. I'm telling you, boy, they coming with it. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like we hit a lot of good points.
Absolutely.
We heard Chris's side of the story. You know what I'm saying? We also heard Ashley's. We heard Daniva's, and we also heard myself, Jazz. So I mean, like, thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Thought Addictz. We talked about being cheated on.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Chris, you want to go ahead and say your Instagram name one more time?
What's going on with Dumb Visions? Hey.
You single? You in a relationship? With...
Yeah, I'm in a relationship.
Hey, well, do not slide over in the DMs. He had a relationship.
Don't do that.
Yeah, Ashley.
Coco_2305. And yes, I'm in a relationship.
Hey, don't slide in them DMs, y'all. Don't get in them DMs. They are happily in relationships. As long as
We're talking about sliding DMs. Sliding in mine.
Hey, she knew that. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to Thought Addictz. Once again, follow us on all social media platforms: YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Instagram, at Thought Addictz. And also, if you want to subscribe on our YouTube, make sure you click on those post notifications so that we can notify you when we release a new video. And it's The Thought Addictz on YouTube.
Yes, it is. Yes. Awesome.
Hey, Jazz, you in a relationship?
Yep.
Hey.
Happily in a relationship. I don't even play no games. Y'all know I'm sliding these videos. Ain't got no money over here.